Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Game Warrior. My name is Jason.
And I'm Jenny.
And today we're going to review Vagransong. Vagransong is an exciting game. It's a 2 to 4 player cooperative game. It's designed by, Matt Carter. I've got it written down here, Justin Gibbs, and Kyle Rowan, and published by Weird Miniatures. I do find it to be interesting that Weird Miniatures published it because there's no miniatures in the game.
No,
there's something cool. We'll
there's
talk
something
about
cool,
it.
but...
Talk about it in a second. Okay, so what we do every single time is that we want to provide value for you, and we do it in a little bit of a frame. What's that frame?
So that frame is we are trying to help you decide whether or not you want to buy this game, play this game, so not necessarily add it to your own personal library.
That means have your friends pay the money for it.
Right. Have someone else work over the money, or avoid it altogether.
Okay, now I'm going to take a second and give you the overview of the game. You are one of these characters. There's the Empress, the Revivalist, the Curse Bearer, the Runaway with the dog, that's the one Jenny played, Songsmith, me, because I can sing so well, and the Wayfarer. Okay, so these are all thematic characters, I'd say back in the 1920s or 30s or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's the feel, for sure.
You're a character and you're on a train. You're a hobo. You just hopped a ride on a train, except for this train is haunted. It's messed up haunted, isn't it?
It's very haunted.
Right? So the game is pretty simple in one aspect. You're a character on a haunted train and you just have to survive. So that means you have to fight through and survive. So it's kind of like a dungeon crawler. It's a boss battler, except you're always on the same train, right? And it's designed in a series of scenarios. So there's an overarching story that's going through, this haunted story of why the train is haunted and why it's doing what it's doing. And you're these hobos trapped on this haunted train. And one of the weird mechanics in the game is when you meet the ghosts, because they're obviously ghosts, right? Haints. We have a cat that we think is a haint. Anyways.
That's what we call her now.
We call her now. So what you want to do is save them. You want to bring them back to the earth or back from wherever the half world they are and send them to heaven or wherever.
Wherever they go.
Let's say heaven. So you've got a little figure on the board and you move it around and you've got these abilities and you gain more abilities as you level up, and there's an in-between each scenario phase where you can get more cards that are better abilities, and there's dice rolling, and so it's kind of a boss battler in a little confined ghost story. Okay? So that's what the game is about. How long do you say each scenario about lasts for the two of us?
I would say it's about hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, so it's a pretty quick little scenario-driven thing. And again, the scenarios are wound together. You could play it without knowing the overarching thing. I think you could, but there is a scenario and there campaign style, because you can make decisions to go left or right, and then different scenarios show up for you. Okay, so let's talk about the ease of play. How easy was it for you to learn it, and how easy was it for me to learn it to teach you?
Once again, I didn't learn this game myself. It was very easy to learn. So, of course, Jason taught me how to play it, because that's just the way it seems to go. But it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty straightforward. There's a few little nuances that can get a little hiccupy. You do have to reference the storybook to make sure that you're following the right things for that particular haunting, which are a little different depending on which ghost you're fighting. So there's a few moments where you do really have to, number one, make sure you've read the scenario fully and read all about the ghost fully before you launch into the actual play, because you'll probably miss things. And so, you have to pay attention, you have to read through it fully. And so I think those things make it a little bit more challenging. It's not like you can learn the rules of the first campaign or the first story and then just go on autopilot. You do have to pay attention and figure out what's different in each scenario so that you can get the most out of that particular scenario and not realize halfway through that you've been doing something completely wrong. So,
which we did on almost every one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'd always kind of find a little thing.
A little thing somewhere in the book, in the scenario. So, that's just one of them. But as far as the mechanics that do carry through scenario after scenario, you get the hang of them, I think, really easily. And, so those ones are good, but each scenario you do have to pay attention.
And the way I put it, and this is something I discovered, is that my characters, right, and you can interchange them later on too, and that works. So you're not stuck with one character the whole time. But these guys are the easy parts. It's that each scenario brings a lot of complications. A lot is a big word, but there's some complications on how to run the ghosts, the haints. And that's the part where, for me, I kept making mistakes because I have to do a lot of the AI for the haints.
Right.
And so it does put a lot of a burden on you as a player. You're like, just do your player, and then you go, oh, I got to do theirs, and I got a rule book. Oh, no, this does that. And there's a lot of referencing back to the scenario for that. Mm-hmm. And that is not quite a positive for me.
Yeah.
In the ease of play section. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's now move to the components. What did you think about the components? We'll talk about tactics, strategy, and our expectations in a minute. But it's a good time to stop right here and talk about how gorgeous this game looks.
It's the best. No, this game, I fell in love with this game just by the way it looks. This is the cover right here. The light might be kind of washing that out a little bit, but it's got this amazing kind of 1920s, 1930s feel. You're these vagrants that are on this really cool board, and the board, it kind of looks like a chessboard in a way. It's got the black and white squares. You're in these train cars. It's dark. The little pieces, you've got these little sparkly hearts to signify your life as well as the humanity of the haints. And then the standees are these beautiful little acrylic standees that has just the best artwork, just this kind of Betty Boop style, kind of cartoony looking characters. And the haints are all very, very different. They all look really cool. And each haint has its own acrylic standee as well. So it's just, the components are absolutely 100% top notch. You have, what do they call it? The bindle, which is a bag that you pull out of during the game. And it's, of course, that cute little kind of checkerboard gingham looking bag that you would imagine a vagrant kind of has on the end of their stick with all their valuables in it. So they just pulled off, excuse me. I went running today and now I'm like, it's allergy season. They pulled off the components and the theme through the components so well. And that is one of my biggest loves of this entire game.
For me, I love miniatures. You know that about me. We talk about miniature games and their presence in the game. And so a lot of people, I hear you out there. I hear you. You tell me standees are the way to go. And for the most part, I disagree with you. But Vagransong makes me change my mind because these acrylic standees, the pieces are acrylic and they're fully in color and they both sides. And so they just look like these beautiful miniature pieces of artwork on the board.
It's really good.
It would be clumsy for me to show one right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut right now. And I'll put a couple photos on the video, and you'll be able to see them. Okay, now we're back. And you got to see them. They're just fun. They just really look good. And for the first time, this game, I wouldn't want miniatures.
No,
it's just perfect. It's the way it works.
I love the acrylics. I love the way they did it. I love that it is full color. It keeps with the theme so nicely. It just really good decision, guys.
Yeah, it's a really nice looking game. It's got a lot of great artwork on it. The rule book is really good. There's a few confusing pieces, but if you go to a place called Board Game Geek, if you're new to the hobby, then you can go to boardgamegeek.com and look up Vagransong, look up the forums, and you can ask your questions. There's an in-between space between each scenario, and that can get a little complicated when it comes to understanding how coins work. And then this, just so you know, is look how beautiful this big book is. This is the book of scenarios, and it's got tons of artwork in it. Look at that ghost. Oh, she see it.
I see it.
I want to make sure she sees it so she knows what we're talking about. It's just wonderfully crafted, a lot of work, and there's a big mega story. Okay, that's the scenario book. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about replayability. What do you think?
So we're still going through it, and it is, a campaign style game. And so, right now I think I'm really enjoying myself. And so obviously we haven't gone back through and played it again.
I don't know that I would.
And I don't think that I would. So we're still going through it for the first pass. It doesn't seem to, some campaign games have enough kind of, if you can take X path or Y path and it changes the game. This game doesn't have that. So if you went back and played a scenario again, I suppose you could play a different character, which might change things up a little bit for you. But really the game, each scenario, I think is very straightforward. And if you played it over again, you would just probably be rehashing the same game you had played before.
Which might be fun. I don't know. Okay, so when you're on the game board, Jenny, you got the pieces out, tactics and strategy. How tactical is it? How strategic is it? It does have dice, so there's a little bit of luck. There's cards for updating your abilities, so you gain access to more and more abilities. You level up. It's kind of fun in a unique way. What do you think about the tactics? Because each scenario, and this is interesting, it's not usually just another monster to fight. It's another monster with a twist.
Right.
And they're pretty good at that. So this won't ruin anything, but there was one section of the trains that we were in where the doors closed and water started to fill in. So we had to do it before drowning. I mean, so, they kept putting twist after twist, which was why it got a little complicated running those twists. But for me, I was really so far pleased with the creativity in how the challenges were new each time.
Yeah.
I mean, they just it wasn't just go through, kill the monster.
Right.
So what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think they've done a lot of clever things with the game. Like Jason said, it's not straightforward every single time. You're doing slightly different things, or there's slightly different environmental conditions or whatever. You also are not only trying to defeat the haint, but you're also trying to reach some goals as you're defeating that haint. And the more goals you can complete before you eliminate the haint or save the haint or whatever it is you're trying to do, the better off for you at the end, and the better off for you between turns. You'll get more things. You're also pulling things out of a bag, which then does play into that luck kind of strategy. I guess not really strategy, but luck
Random
as
size,
well. Yeah. And then you also have, you do have the fact that your characters can level up and gain more power and gain more things that they can do after each scenario. So I think they've done a lot of really clever things with this game. And it's, I think it's interesting. It's not this straightforward, just kill the ghost. There's a lot of other things you can do that maybe you want to prolong and not kill the ghost for a while so you can actually get some bonuses.
Oh, okay. So let's get to the expectations part. I know you had ridiculously high expectations because of the theme, the ghost, the look, the art, everything about it set your expectations sky high.
Sky high.
Right?
Yeah.
So what were those expectations and where did it actually land? And this just swerves right into the lane of what did we actually think and feel about the game?
Okay. So what did I expect? Like Jason said, I expected this to be the love of my life. With the artwork and the acrylic standees and the board and the way it's all, it's just the look and feel of this game is right up my alley. So excited. And when I got into the play, so of course I expected it then the game mechanics and everything else to be just off the charts amazing. So what I got was a game that aesthetically and theme-wise, it met all my expectations. I'm just in love with the way the game looks and the way the game feels and what they did with the theme. And every time we pull out a new ghost, I love just looking at them. And so, but I will say, and it breaks my heart to say it, the gameplay is less than what I would want. And, I feel like that there is a clunkiness to it where you do really have to, again, pay attention, which is fine. You just have to make sure you're doing that. But what I'm finding is usually with a game, I'm looking for that like, holy crap moment. Like we just beat this thing by the skin of our teeth, or just this amazing thing did it. And the roller coaster, that's what I'm looking for in a really good game. I'm looking for I'm in the depths of despair because we're not going to make it. And then somehow, you just keep going and you figure it out. And this game has yet to deliver that for me. We are not done with this game yet. It does seem like maybe it's hinting that it may be going to get a little harder and a little harder. So I'm excited about that. And with that carrot, I really want to keep going. Plus the fact that I'm just in love with the way the game looks. But as of now, I have not had this holy crap, knock my socks off moment in this game, which is really, really disappointing to me. So I guess this game this video for me is part a review and part a asking you all if you finish this game and you're like, no, keep going, just wait, it's there. Let us know. Put a comment down below because I would love to know that. I still really want to finish out this campaign. I'm in love with the aesthetics and the theme. I am not that into how this game is actually playing.
Yeah. And so this is the part of the review that is the most subjective. Subjective, which is we kind of look for a something to pop. You just get that little excitement. And we're going to do a couple reviews coming up and of other games that we both this week. Now, in the last week, we've had 2 games that were just like, oh, that was a game.
Yeah.
Like it just got us in some way. This is a great game. This is a magical game. No, but it's not a magical game. Like it didn't get me yet.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't, we set it up every night and we played it. She came home from work, just do the game. And it was like, I'm waiting for this. And we didn't say anything to each other because we were both feeling it and we knew it, but we just didn't say each other thing, did we?
Yeah.
And we're like, this is good. And I don't know what it is. I guess we'll see. But that's the subjective. If that helps you or it doesn't. Here's the thing. We're having a lot of fun. We love the theme. But as you know, if you've been following us, we've got a lot of games. And so we've got a bandwidth that's pretty low. And so right now we're thinking should we play this or something else? Like this or something else? And what's that game that kind of gets your excitement? So for me, so far, take this with a grain of salt because this is a really popular game out there. People are really loving it. It just isn't quite popping for me.
Yeah.
And let me tell you a game that does pop for me, kind of somewhat in this very loose tangent, which is Cthulhu Death May Die. Mm-hmm. Right? That thing keeps giving me cinematic moments. Right? Its scenarios are different and sometimes a pain in the ass to keep track of, almost the same way, right? But man, at the end, is it just, how many times have we just given each other high five and gone, what the heck? I mean, we talk about hopefully season 3 is coming and Simon does another, right? Because it was so cinematic.
Yeah.
And Nemesis is a game that we love, right?
Yep.
That again creates those moments. And we just haven't had any moments yet with this. So if you have had moments, please share them. We're totally open to them.
Please do.
Okay, so those are our final thoughts. Now the availability of this game, it was advertised last year. There was a few copies out that reviewers had. We heard about it through the Dice Tower, right? And then I got on a waiting list for it from weirdminiatures.com, and then they got some in stock, they sent it, and as far as I know right now, they're out of stock again. So I don't know where you can get it, but I did a favor for you. This is, what is this? Easter. Happy Easter, by the way.
Yeah.
Happy Easter, April 17th, 2022, for historical context. I looked on eBay, and it's with shipping, it's about $150 to get it. So you're going to get it cheaper if you wait till it comes back in stock. I checked a couple of the places, the miniature market, and they're out of stock. And so normally it's going to be about $70, maybe a little more shipping. But So you can go get it right now, but it's $150 on eBay. Okay, final rankings. You got to give a number. You got to stake your claim on a number right now. Want me to go first?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We use the BGG rankings 1 through 6, and right now I'm going to say it's a 6. It's okay, and I'll play it if in the mood, and that's tough because right now I'm not in the mood much for it.
Yep.
But I'm hoping, right now we're hoping it picks up because it is so cool.
Or we're hoping one of you drops a comment and says, keep going.
So I'm giving it a 6, and if it kind of peters out, it would probably go to a 5. And I mean, I can see people loving this game because there's an aspect of it that I love.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that pop, but that's me.
Yeah, I give it a 6 as well, which is, again, will play if I'm in the mood. You know, just talking about it today got me, when we started the video and talking about the theme and the hints and the cartoony little vagrants and the way the board looks and all that, that got me really excited to play this again. So that theme will always appeal to me, you know, but the thought that it's just, the game isn't popping for me quite yet. I'm hoping it does. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 6. I am hoping, well, number one, I am going to keep going on this, and I am hoping that it just continues to climb in my ranking because, again, this is one of the games that I was the most excited to get and to play, and so I really want it to get there. I'm holding out hope. Right now, it's at a 6.
Okay. So we're going to wrap up like we always do, which is encouraging you to stay healthy. A healthy gamer is a happy gamer. We had some amazing weather here in Utah recently, and it went south. It's gone. There is no amazing weather, and still Jennie went out for a long 7-mile run.
Yep.
I went out for a 4-mile walk. She's running. I'm walking today. That's the way it was. It was cold. We had our hats on. Still get out, take our green smoothies, vitamin D, zinc, all those things. Take care of ourselves. Take care of yourselves. And until we see you next time, have a great day.